What up everyone, it's your man Xman87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the Marvel Legends Captain America series, Baron Zemo and Arnim Zola Hydra 2-pack review. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up, like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's go! Alright, Dr. Heinrich Zemo was a Nazi war criminal and the 12th Baron in the Zemo bloodline, father to Helmut Zemo. And after Captain America was suspended from ice and reappeared joining the Avengers, Zemo created his own team. He led the Masters of Evil in his final fight against his arch nemesis Captain America. And all I gotta say is this classic Zemo is very, very good looking. Man, they're making great use of this Red Skull body base. I mean, he's got the fur, he's got the fur on the boots, and everything about this is classic Zemo to the T. Now, there are some other versions of classic Zemo, one where he had long yellow gloves and like this gold piece of armor from his collar that went down connecting to his belt, others with fur on his skirt piece, but either way they went with, this is still a classic version. It couldn't go wrong. It's still comic accurate, and I love it. And take a close look at this head sculpt. This is absolutely wonderful. Not only are the lines painted, but they're sculpted at the same time too. And normally we don't get that combination at the same time. We either get one or the other with Hasbro. So the fact that we get both, it's an A++, right? And look at those eyes. They're menacing. You can make out the shape of the face underneath, and that is great to see. And the crown is also removable. It's just going to look weird. It looks like an uncircumcised penis. So it is definitely a weird shape. This would have been a great base. And I still believe it's a great base to use for a custom hooded Cobra Commander. And definitely after seeing this head sculpt, there's no excuse now for the G.I. Joe line to not give us a hooded Cobra Commander. I mean, look at that, man. Yeah, I definitely see us getting a hooded Cobra Commander now after this. The fur piece here is covering a lot of the details on the bottom of the hood, so you can't really see that, so I'm going to remove it for you so you can see the details on the bottom of this hood, and it's nice and wavy, and it looks great. You get some nice leopard print deco on the fur for the collar, so that looks good. Again, Red Skull base body, and you have a new layered piece right here, so you get this belt, and it's a really nice looking belt. Nice metallic paint on it, makes it look nice and shiny, looks nice and sharp. It's cool. The skirt piece is connected to it, and the Red Skull base body is one of those bodies where, you could add a little bit of layers, and the less is more factor comes into play because it just looks nice. And you get his fist right there, white hands, the pants, and boots with the fur right there. And you know what? These boots, or fur I should say, is different from Helmut Zemo. As you can see, is a different shape. For some reason, when it was revealed, I thought it was sharing the same parts, but it's not. Even different boots too. So it's not a straight up repaint right there. It's a new sculpt. I like that. For accessories, he has two trigger hands, both having vertical hinges, and he comes with a pistol and a sword, and the blade is painted in a nice metallic silver. I like that. Lastly, he comes with a set of open hands, and he comes with this alternate head, an unmasked head, and it's a pretty gnarly looking head sculpt. Man, this thing is sick. Lots of details on his face. You can see like the scarring and all that, especially that huge scar right there that's cracked against his cranium. That's freaking awesome. And the eyes are menacing too. The teeth, he's got that very gummy upper lip, but it just makes it look more gruesome, and I do like that. You know what I wish though, since this is the Red Skull base body, the neck right there, there's yeah, you can see where the shirt, the collar, the kind of like turtleneck look, it ends right there. And I feel like this part right here would be the flesh. So why didn't they just paint it to match this skin tone? And as you can see, if you look at the figure around, it's going to look like he has a purple neck. It doesn't look like it's part of the shirt because that turtleneck is visible. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it was a huge missed opportunity there. The first piece is loose, with the unmasked head because the hood pretty much keeps it in place. But you can remove it if you want and just keep them like that. But I love that they included this head. Brings me back to the Toy Biz variant. I believe that was a variant with the unmasked head. So yeah, this is just awesome. Now for articulation, I want you to pay attention because he actually has some good range at the neck. It's just kind of tricky because of this, you know, pimp fur collar he's got here. Pimpin' runs deep in the Zemo family bloodline. But you just got to make sure that you're able to get the bottom tip of the hood free, so that way you can just kind of move it, because the back piece of the fur right here can sometimes hinder the movement, so you could wiggle that a bit and get a little more room. Let me push. Oh, see, it just removed from there, but that's as far as I'm gonna go right now. But yeah, as you can see, he can look up a good amount, so that's fine with me. I'll take that. And then down, he looks good down too, so there's that. Left, right, you're gonna have the collar shift a bit, but again, if you hold it in place, you can get him to look up like that. Oh, that's another way you can get him to look up easily too, and then finagle from there. He's got some good pivoting too, and it rocks around. So yeah, overall, great movement at the neck area. And then his arms move about that far up, so straight T pose, you know, you can move them around. You got the bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows. And I got a gripe here. Normally with their blank bodies, it's fine with the double jointed pinless elbows, but when it comes to like clothing, for example, that 50th anniversary Logan in the Sabretooth 2-pack, you know, sweatshirts or sleeves, just any kind of clothing the plastic is mimicking, the joint just seems to be separated and it's very gappy, you know. With the blank bodies, you know, with superheroes that are wearing the spandex kind of costumes, it all has this nice flow together. But I notice when it comes to things like this, yeah, not a nice flow. So that's a unfortunate bummer. I'll get to the knees in a bit. The wrist swivels and there's a hinge. You got a pretty decent ab crunch going forward, goes back, and it swivels. Legs spread that far apart, and they kick about that far up and that far back, so you could get a frontward split. Legs rock around. You got the thigh swivel and the double jointed knees. Here you go. Not too bad. You know, not too bad. It's, you know, nowhere near as bad as the that Ninja Daredevil that came out in the Marvel Knights wave. Yeah, it's a lot better than the elbow. Heel to the Zemo butt though. And then you have the boot swivel, ankles that move up that far, down, and they rock all around. Hasbro got a lot of things right here with this Baron Zemo. Only thing I feel they needed to do to make this figure feel more complete was to paint the skin tone on the neck. Leopard print on his boots would have been nice too, even though he didn't always have it on in the comics. It would have rounded out the figure more. Everything else I feel is pretty much perfect for the character. The hood is the key highlight and a handful of accessories to play with. Baron Zemo gets an 8.75 out of 10. The mad scientist Arnim Zola became one of the first biochemists in history after finding notes and equipment belonging to the Eternals' nemesis, an offshoot race of humanity known as the Deviants. He learned many things from his studies, including the ability to transfer people's essence into clones of their original bodies. Because of his unfathomable supreme intellect, he was hired by the Red Skull to be his right-hand man. And now with this Arnim Zola here, this is the third Arnim Zola in the line. It's still the same thing, still the same figure back from 2012, which he was a bath. And here's my thing. While that body is perfect for him, don't get me wrong, it's perfect for him. But 12 years ago, man, that was 12 years ago. I think 12 years later, we deserved something different, something new, all new scope, because, you know, there's no excuse for reusing something 12 years ago. Here is the original Bath, as you can see. And I like this new one more because of the more vibrant colors. And you can see the different faceplates right here. I like both of them. I don't know which one I like more. And like I acknowledge that this body is perfect for Arnim Zola, but 12 years later, they could have explored some new things. I mean, 12 years is more than enough time. That's a little over a decade. They could have given us a lot more than just a straight up repaint. And I mean, look at the torso, for example. You know, it's just a hard waist swivel, and I feel like this would have been the perfect opportunity to give us that ball jointed waist so he could rock around, pivot, move around, you know, give us something more, something new. Also, maybe redesign the torso where we can have interchangeable faceplates and we're not always stuck with the same expression there. I think that would have been great. And along with a new torso, they could have redesigned the arms too to give us more range. So, taking a close look at Arnim Zola, his head sculpt is the same as before. You know, you still get that squared box, that one-eye squared box. Although the bath, I will say, has additional paint because it has little yellow dots right here on the sensors, I guess they're called, and it's gray on top right here on his little antenna. At the time, it was a really well-designed figure, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, it still kind of holds up. I just think they could have done something new. So look at that face right there. Looks really, really good. I like that. It's a nice print. It would have been really cool if they had this kind of, I don't know, like some sort of holographic look, you know, behind the face to make it pop out. That would have been really, really nice. So, yeah, the purple is a lot more vibrant. Look at that. The bath was a little dull. So, the good thing about this is, you know, if you missed out on the bath, you're going to get a better Arnim Zola this time around. And the yellow is yellow, whereas the bath was more gold than anything. So, he has his gloves painted too, which is nice. So, he's got the yellow stripe. That's the one thing this bath was missing. So yeah, overall, a really, really nice paint job. And the legs right there, still pins. They didn't retool it to pinless. Very nice shimmer on the orange armor again. And the more I look at this figure, the more the bath is looking really dull. Again, nice paint on the boots. They even painted the soles this time. The bath doesn't have the soles painted, so it's real nice. Now for accessories, he comes with this alternate head. It has his eye popping out like that. It's the same head that came with the, I think his name was Hydra Supreme, that 2-pack. I forgot his name. But yeah, this same head reused. And he also has his remote, so no new accessories. It's the same. It's a different color. Got different buttons. The bath had this one right here with red buttons, or was this the one that came with the Hydra Supreme 2-pack? I don't know. I lost one of them, but yeah, just to show you, it is a different color altogether. Now for articulation, he's got a hinge at the neck, so he looks about that far up, that far down. Funny looking head. Left, right, and you get some pivoting there. Arms move that far up, straight T-pose. You know, you can move them down all around. You got the elbow swivel and single joint combo right there. Not much range. Wrist swivel, wrist hinge. You got the hard line waist swivel right there. Legs move that far apart. And yeah, they kick up about that far up and not so much back. But, you know, he's not an agile character. He's just a chunky android. He's not known for posing. So, you know, what you get here is pretty decent. You know, legs rock around, thigh swivel, double jointed knees, no heel to the Zola butt. And then you got the boot swivel. Ankles do move up that far, they move down, and you can pivot them side to side. They don't move all around, I don't think. Yes, they do. What am I talking about? There you go. Arnim Zola is a 12-year-old figure that didn't get treatment for any sort of new advancements. Just a straight-up reissue of the bath with a better color deco, new faceplate, and an additional head. Good if you missed out on the bath a little over a decade ago. Despite the lack of a true update, this bath from the Legends Dark Days of Hasbro still holds up with the modern-day Hasbro Legends figures. I'm rating Zola with a generous 7 out of 10. Not going to overdo it with comparisons, so here is Baron Heinrich Zemo next to his son Baron Helmut Zemo. Here is Baron Zemo next to his arch nemesis Captain America. Here is Arnim Zola next to his BAF and his previous 2-pack counterpart. He has yet to have a solo release. Lastly, here is Baron Zemo and Arnim Zola next to other leaders of Hydra, Red Skull, and Madam Hydra. And now to wrap things up, my final rating is a 7.75 out of 10. Gathering my final thoughts here, if you were to ask me if this is a hit or a miss, I'm gonna say it's both a hit and a miss. Baron Zemo is a hit all the way. I love the old school Avenger villains, and they did this classic version justice. I still like the Toy Biz one, but I like this one more with the well-rounded proportions. And 7 accessories is an exceptional number for any Legends figure to have, and the inclusion of the unmasked head is a great callback to the comics and homage to the Toy Biz figure. Just wished he had his scepter thrown in with the accessories. He's damn near perfect and one of my favorite figures out of this year for Legends villains. Zola was the miss here by not giving us anything new after 12 years. It would have been refreshing to see how stylish they could have made a brand new one from scratch. The colors are very eye-catching and, again, they stand out colorfully compared to his BAF. Not much to be said beyond this, but another chance for collectors to grab a classic Zola and bolster their villains roster. Overall, a decent villains 2-pack. Now, with this Zemo, I hope we can round out the classic Masters of Evil team with a proper Black Knight and finally releasing an Executioner. The pack is a little pricey to get Zola at $50. The BAF is pricier, and compared to the other Zola in the 2-pack that was $40, this is a more essential villains pack, which I know most prefer this classic one anyways. I can't predict if this pack will go on clearance at Amazon since it's an Amazon exclusive. You never know with them, but if you can score one on sale, then I'd say take a bite at it. Just know I freaking love this Baron Zemo. Now I kick it back to you. What do you think of this Captain America Villains 2-pack? Did you find my review to be a fair critiquing assessment? What are some famous villain duels you would like to see next as a 2-pack? Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. Thanks for watching another Marvel Legends review. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at xmanny87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.